which is Super Bowl 60. And we'll start right there, Joe. Seattle taking on New England. Oh, look, the line opened up at 4.5. Still sits at 4.5. Hey, remember that big line movement from 46.5 to 45.5? Yep, still there at 45.5. We sit on a Tuesday waiting for that late week money to come into play, Joe. As of Tuesday for Super Bowl 60, what is your spread line?
Well, from what I'm hearing in the risk rooms, Donnie, the prop bets have certainly started to roll in here, and the handle on a whole bunch of them are really starting. They are anticipating that right around tomorrow or Thursday is when they're really anticipating the bigger bets, certainly the volume of bets to start to come in. But not a lot of these guys in those back rooms are convinced, Donnie, that we're going to get much more than what we're at still at 4.5 or 5, which seems to be pretty much cut in half across the board on the books, depending on what region that you are in. Now, obviously, it's a little shaded. The sports book on the East Coast, a little bit more shaded than what it is on the West Coast. But the reality is, if you're holding out for a 6, maybe a 6.5, it's not going to happen. And conversely, if you're hoping to get it down closer to a field goal, that likely is not going to happen either. So I think what you see right now, Donnie, continues to be what you get from a side, but they are convinced that total is going up. So if you like the over, bet it now, because it is likely going to be as low as it's going to get here before kickoff on Sunday.
Yep, once you get those good practice reports later in the week for both of these quarterbacks, maybe we see a change. And everybody typically likes to bet the over anyway, and that money will be flooding back in. We'll see if it gets back up to 46.5 or higher. Super Bowl Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern on a Sunday night. Ratings are going to be there. Of course, they're always there. Do you like both of these teams? Maybe not. Maybe you love both of these teams. But you will be watching this football game, Joe. And I always find it interesting to me. Like, you know what? Since it's a Sunday game, it's 6:30. So I would think for the biggest telecast in American sports every year, which is the Super Bowl, is 6:30 like that prime time slot that fits perfectly here? Because otherwise I ask, like, Joe, if 6:30 is such a valuable time spot, like, why does Sunday Night Football play at 8:15? Can you answer that for me? Anybody?
Yeah. Interesting, right, Donnie? The numbers bear it out, right? I mean, it's not like we don't watch it all year long, every year, year after year. You and I know the petitions are out, Donnie, too. Like, turn it on to make it a Saturday night game, like make it anything other than where it is right now, which screws everybody up for the most watched program in the history of sports. It's kind of ridiculous at this point.
It is. It's just look. I don't mind the 6:30, and certainly I'll be up for it. The game's not going to be over too late for me not to watch it here. But I always find it interesting. Like, if you have your biggest game of the year, you think the 6:30 time slot is perfect, but then yet again we start pro football on Sunday night weekly at around 8:30 as a start. Doesn't make any sense. It's not supposed to. They like to lose money. It's just the way it is. Well, let's get to the game this Sunday, Joe. 4.5 is a line as a favorite for Seattle, technically the road team here, and a total of 45.5. Where that sits right now, both of these quarterbacks, they're certainly going to come into play. Why? Ooh, Sam Darnold. How's that oblique healing up? Oh, no, Drake May's shoulder looks like it's going to be just A-okay at this point as we find ourselves with Drake May's passing prop, 220.5. Sam Darnold's 228.5. Are we worried at all, Joe? We'll ask you every day about these two quarterbacks and the health status come Sunday.
No, we're not worried about either. The oblique injury at this point, if it hadn't been a problem right after it happened, and he had to play against the 49ers and then had to do it again there in that last game against the Rams, then it's not going to be a problem 2 weeks later here against the Patriots. Now, listen, in-game, anybody can take a shot, and that's a different story. But going into this game, the idea that any of these guys are going to be incapable of doing what they've been doing all season long, I think is ridiculous. Sam Darnold will be good to go, and so will Drake May. Do not handicap this game based upon one guy being 50%, the other guy being 100%. I think they're both the same here at this point.
Was NFL opening night last night where the press got to ask the questions to the coaches and also to some of the players. Mike Vrabel was asked a funny question here. Let's see what it was.
Is this a must-win game?
A must-win? Yeah, I think every time we go out is a must-win game. I mean, it's kind of the attitude that I've always taken in the National Football League.
By the way, I would like to see some highlights because, Joe, last year we were in New Orleans in the Superdome. That place was popping for opening night between the Eagles and also the Kansas City Chiefs. Superstars all over the place, loud environment, bands playing. Looks like a little more subdued right there. And also, great question, is the Super Bowl must win for you there? Like, nah, you know what? Next year's preseason game number 1, we're looking forward to that one a little bit more, Joe.
Okay, so how does that guy get a press pass, honestly? And that was the question you showed up with. Is it a must-win game? You've made it to – he's a first-year coach and does the unthinkable by having the nerve to take the New England Patriots, who nobody gave a shot to the Super Bowl, and now you're asking him if it's a must. Donnie, I tell you, man, the media is not what it used to be, my friend. Unreal.
Those media people out here. But by the way, the media got a hold of Justin Jefferson to ask him a question, how he feels about the Super Bowl and Sam Darnold. So it's going to be tough to watch, but he loves the Super Bowl that Sam Darnold is going to play in it, and he's happy for him here. And he's like, man, I used to get the footballs a lot when I had Sammy D as my quarterback. I don't get too many footballs anymore.
Yeah. And then he's also Captain Obvious there, because then he went on to say that, yeah, I definitely think I would have had a better season and we would have had a better season with Sam Darnold as our quarterback. Really? Shocker. Nobody saw that. Yeah, of course you would have, because you had a great season last year and you went MIA this year with J.J. McCarthy. Not hard to figure out.
Joe, we love to take a look at some of these predictive markets, whether it's Polymarket or it's Kalshi here. And we do a great job on a show that airs weekly here over the weekends, and that's PME, Prediction Markets Edge. And by the way, you know, coming up this week, Joe, these type of topics will be coming to a show near you. 66% chance Chris Collinsworth says Patrick Mahomes during the Super Bowl 60 action on Polymarket. No shot, they say. He goes an entire Super Bowl without mentioning Mahomes. 66%, Joe. By the way, don't answer it now. I'm going to let the floor is yours once you get back from this commercial break. I think we can make some inroads on these type of markets, and we'll be right back. Those new emerging markets that we love to take a look at in the Predictive Markets show. And it used to be like, oh, they're going to show a fan in the stands or, you know, some fun stuff in the offshore markets. Legalized betting here on what the announcers are actually going to say, Joe, could be very profitable for Super Bowl 60, huh?
Donnie, we have, it's unbelievable here. The amount of handle coming in on the prediction markets for what Tirico and Collinsworth will actually say, whether it's phrases or words. I was just saying here that right now, the idea of whether Tirico or Collinsworth says the name Taylor Swift, that market is anticipated to hit $8 million in handle, just whether or not they mention Taylor Swift's name on the broadcast. We saw it, I think it was Nance and Romo, if they said the word honor during the AFC title game. There was over $500,000 on whether or not that word would be used. Now they're close to $50 million in handle just on the words or phrases that'll be said during this broadcast.
All right, let's bring up this graphic because it's a very important graphic to let you know who the best quarterbacks of all time apparently are and which team actually produces the best quarterbacks of all time. The highest graded quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. Number 1, it's Nick Foles. Number 2 is Jalen Hurts. And if you even go down to the bottom of that screen here, still another game with Jalen Hurts. So based on that, I see Eli Manning on there once, Jalen Hurts twice. Does that mean Jalen Hurts is already automatically should be a Hall of Famer before Eli Manning ever gets in, Joe? I want to ask you that question.
I mean, what? That's the highest graded. So for during the Super Bowl game, right? So you're talking about that particular game. Nobody graded out better than Nick Foles.
Nobody
in any Super Bowl. Wow. Well, then he's a first ballot Hall of Famer then, right? Because
see that?
I mean, that's got to go. We got to be in. As a matter of fact, they should change the rule just to put him in right now.
The cradle of coaches. And by the way, give me the wide shot for me in this, because I just want to show some people, like, you know, where it actually matters in the DRS house. So let me just slide out to the left. See this one right here? This was provided by Nick Foles. And as you see, 92.3 was his quarterback rating in that Super Bowl. This one right here, that was Mr. Jalen Hurts there, a 92.2. 2 Super Bowl trophies in the last decade for the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, Giants, where are you at? I don't know. Washington Commanders, where are you at? I don't know. Dallas Cowboys, where are you at? I don't know. The Eagles are the best team in professional sports. 3 Super Bowl appearances in 10 years here. Doesn't get any better than that. I thought the people should know about how important Super Bowl trophies are and where they come from and how those quarterbacks are highly graded, which are Philadelphia Eagles. So apparently those 2 Super Bowl trophies in my background, Joe, the 2 most important Super Bowl trophies in the history of the Lombardi trophies. But how about this, Joe? We sort of go over things like, how about making a Super Bowl if you were an assisting coach here? And also, what does that mean for being an actual Hall of Famer? Josh McDaniels, he's going to coach in his 10th Super Bowl. 10th. How about that, Joe?
I'm sorry, Donnie. I'm as a Jet fan, I'm looking for
10.
where I placed my Super Bowl trophies.
Where's Broadway Joe? Where's Broadway Joe?
I think I've been robbed, Donnie. I think I've been robbed. I can't find my Jet Super. What's that? What? Oh, we don't have one. That's why. Okay.
Mark
yeah, Donnie.
has it.
Yeah, shocker. Thanks for letting me know that, guys. I will say, I will say this: coaching matters, Donnie, in these games. And Vrabel, from a player perspective, as the head coach, and by the way, a second go around as a head coach. This is not, he's been doing this a while. And you just said it. Josh McDaniel had been there and done his 10. You can't tell me and I'm not taking anything away from McDonald and what Kubiak have done. It's great. But when you get to this game at this moment in the season, experience matters. And the coaching staff, you can't tell me there's not an edge here for the New England Patriots.
Those Patriots, we'll see if they can win. But by the way, line's not moving, Joe. Only 30% tickets coming in on New England because everybody loves Seattle. We'll see where that line is at the end of the week. Let's take a look at this. You want money? You got money. You want a 30-second ad? Give me $10 million. NBC Universal has sold, Joe, a handful of 30-second Super Bowl ads for $10 million or more. Goodness, man. Woo.
Yeah, but Kalshi and Polymarket can't spend $10 million on an ad. They're not allowed to advertise there on the Super Bowl. But, I mean, at this point, it almost feels like Keeping Up with the Joneses, like every year. Like, how do you, if you're a big company, how are you not spending the $10 million for a 30-second ad? Like, you don't have a choice, Donnie, because everyone else is going to do it. And truly, Donnie, over the years, how many the next day, the next week, and how many of those commercials do you honestly remember?
None, except for like Ali Landry's Doritos commercials back in the day. Like, that's basically all you remember. Or maybe like those Bud Light ads where they would play the football game, Bud Light versus Budweiser. Exactly, the What's Up guys. Like, some were legendary, some are just a waste of money that you spend here. Let's get to another one. I feel like it's an Eli Manning bashing day, like it is every day, since we're talking about him not making the Hall of Fame. Let's put up since Eli Manning is so clutch in the playoffs, let's put up the top 10 most playoff passing yards and see who has them, Joe. Oh, Tom Brady's there. Oh, his brother Peyton Manning's there. Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, Brett Favre, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana, Drew Brees, John Elway, and Dan Marino. Eli Manning is not in there, a 500 quarterback who doesn't really have a lot of success outside of the Super Bowl throwing jump passes and getting lucky. Not on that list, Joe. Doesn't surprise me. Tom Brady, 13,000. That's an NFL career for a lot of people.
Yeah, well, yeah, no kidding. But, when you're in it, it feels like every year for like a decade and a half. You tend to rack up the stats, Donnie, don't you? But Peyton is interesting. Peyton's got... He's on that list, as is what? Aaron Rodgers, too, huh? That's interesting in the top 3.
Big Ben, even Dan Marino. They didn't play that many. They didn't actually play that many playoff games back in the day with the expansion of the wild card being now. He still had 4,500 yards. Elway's on there, Breeze. A lot of the greats on there. Eli Manning not on there because why? It's not one of the greats. Let's keep it moving right now. Jim Schwartz, Browns press conference. I didn't see this show. Give me this clip. Come on.
In the Midwest, it's you want to coach where fans are passionate. I've been very fortunate in Philadelphia. Okay, check. We had that. Detroit, yes. Buffalo. I've had some great stops that way. Tennessee. So you embrace that part of it, and I think that's that's an important part of our process, and that's an important part of what the organization goes through. And I feel a tremendous amount of responsibility to the fans here to get this right and to reward them, because, I'll forget most plays of the Super Bowl that I was with the Eagles. I'll forget just about every play in that game. But what I won't forget is that parade afterwards. It's indelible in my mind. I'll never forget it. And in my mind, there's only one place that would outdo that parade in Philadelphia. And we're here right now. So I'm really excited about getting to work. And it's an honor to have Dino look over this proceeding, too. So thanks, guys.
There you go, Jim Schwartz saying what everybody says. There's no better place to be than in Philadelphia. That's what I took out of this press conference. What a day here on this show. What a day.
Yeah, I just something tells me like he wanted to be anywhere but there at that moment doing that press conference. Just simply because he's going to take the money, make no mistake about it. But he knows, as you and I know, Donnie, the chance of him having a parade in Cleveland like that, like they had it, not going to happen. And count your lucky stars, you're not the one overseeing it, though. That's what I'll say, Jim.
How about this? Well, he could be saying, you know what, there might no better be place than Cleveland to win. How about winning in Paris? Because the NFL is going to have a game in Paris, France show. And also, do you know what else that means? The NFL has confirmed a record 8-game international schedule for 2026. Madrid, Munich, Rio, 3 games in London, Paris, and Australia. As the young kids like to say, we're doing too much here, Joe.
No, I love it. And I love the first game they're sending to France is the Browns and Saints. I mean, enjoy it, France. You want to see what the NFL has to offer? Here's the Browns and Saints.
Oh, my God. I can't wait to see how many ice skating rinks these players are going to be playing on for those games here. We'll be right back after this quick break. When we talk about great jobs to have, right? When you take a look at the Tennessee Titans, just being a head coach in the NFL is really good stuff because you get paid a lot of money. Maybe it's not a great franchise, but what if I would tell you that an NFL coach that's been around the block and a head coach and probably has plenty of money signs on to be the DC for the Tennessee Titans? You know who that would be? That's Gus Bradley. Now, Gus Bradley is the defensive coordinator now of the Tennessee Titans, but not going to call plays, Joe. Imagine getting a few $1 million a year without a lot of pressure on game days. Sounds like a great retirement job, no?
It is, but I mean, you know, it's interesting what Saleh's doing here and the guys that he is surrounding himself with for this second go around, right? When you look at how it went with the Jets, his first, head coaching gig there, kind of raw still, didn't work out well, but now he is surrounding himself with former head coach Brian Dable for the OC. And now he is bringing another former head coach and Gus Bradley over. Don't forget, I mean, he has been around the league. He's one of the more well-respected defensive guys. He was with him in the 49ers last season. In fact, he was in charge of the red zone defense aspect of the Niners, who, listen, all the injuries, they weren't great, but they were 12th in the league in preventing touchdowns in the red zone. So there's obviously a trust going on there, even though Saleh's going to oversee it and call it. Gus Bradley obviously has the experience with Saleh to know exactly what he's looking to do. He has surrounded himself here with some pretty good coaching resumes here in Tennessee. So he's not going the young tree, never been there, done it before kind of thing. He's going with a lot of experience his first year in Tennessee.
It's Nashville. Let's flip it over to the other side of the state here, and we'll talk about Rocky Top in Knoxville. How about Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar suing the NCAA in Knox County for a 6th year of eligibility, Joe? I remember back in the day, it was like, okay, kid, you're going off to college. You got 5 years to play for, and you can take a red shirt there, which you can be included in those 5 years. If you transfer, you get to sit out, and maybe you burn the red shirt that way. But you got 5 years to play for. Enjoy your time in school. And now we're like, nah, bro, 6, 7, and 8 years. I want to play football. It's my right.
Donnie, listen, I mean, I can't blame these players for doing what they're doing. Because had this been available, this kind of money available to these guys that are, now all of a sudden running out of time in a college career, I would be doing everything I possibly could to try to get that bag one more time. And he would get, we're talking millions, Donnie. If he was to get eligible one more year, come back to Tennessee, they would give him millions of dollars. I don't blame these players for doing it. But I do blame the NCAA for allowing it to get to this point where guys that are 25 years old who have played 6 years in college should now somehow be allowed to come back and get one more bag before it's all said and done.
When I was playing college football, Joe, my senior year, I turned 22 years old and I felt like an old man. Like a lot of these guys, 24, 25, 26, playing with 17 and 18-year-olds is never going to not hit home. Like, man, you're an old man. It's just time to move on. I'll tell you who doesn't want to move on at this point. It's Sean McVay saying, boy, I'm expecting Devontae Adams to come back with my guys Puka Nacua and also Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I thought maybe he'd consider nope, apparently not. Don't forget, a couple of years ago, remember we knew with McVay, we were wondering whether or not he was going to come back. Aaron Donald retired, and maybe he was just like, you know what, maybe I just want to, I'm done with this. But he got Stafford to return, and now all of a sudden, well, he just signed that extension. He is good to go. Now the question is Stafford good to go to come back and give it one more shot? A window of opportunity for them, Donnie, though. There's a lot of young talent on that team. So I think it's a good move by the Rams, and I think it's a great move by McVay because he's not going to have to start from scratch anytime soon there.
And by the way, McVay also got extensions along with their general manager, and rightfully so. Good organization,
yes.
Championship or bust. That's the way they play it out. However, in Buffalo, Brandon Beane didn't do a very good job, fired his head coach, and actually got promoted in the front office, and now he's telling the fans to blankety blank right now at this point right now. Not a great look, and you'll probably be fired within the next 16 months, Brandon, so it'll be okay.
Yeah, that's great. So you got Bills Mafia with nothing to do except shovel their way out of their homes right now and be angry at the way you handled the situation. And you want to instigate the good luck. Bean, let's see how that works out for you here. Let's see if we can find a prediction market on how long before he's fired, Donnie.
Welcome back into the early line. I'm Donnie Rightside, the commissioner of the people out here. He's Joe Ranieri. He also is going to be my sidekick in this equation when we bring up calcium polymarket and talk about the pro football Pro Bowl games here, Joe. Now, I feel like I was out on an island for a long time. I'm the king of let's just do away with every single all-star break. There's no need for it anymore. We see all these superstars on a night-to-night basis when in the 1950s, we might see these guys one time if they come to our town. And, oh, yeah, the all-star game meant something back then, and the players took it seriously. So for years, I said the Pro Bowl has to go away. I don't care that they get 10 million people to watch some stupid football game. That doesn't matter. It has to go away. The players eventually decided it should go away because we don't even feel like tackling anybody in an actual Pro Bowl game. So then they thought it was a good idea to say, let's have the Pro Bowl games, which centered around a flag football game that nobody wants to participate in. Hence, we get Shedeur Sanders as one of the quarterbacks in this game. But, Joe, on the predictive markets, you can bet on these games. The Pro Football Pro Bowl game, NFC, 51% chance. AFC, 49% chance. How about just a 50% chance that nobody actually wants to watch this game? That fits in better for me, Joe.
I can't imagine anybody even remotely being interested in how in the world do you well, I guess maybe if you wanted to make it interesting, Donnie, you could throw a couple of bucks down on which side is going to win and which is not. But I mean, any sort of Pro Bowl that thought it was a good idea to ask Justin Fields to be a part of is not a Pro Bowl I want to be betting on, Donnie, in any way, shape, or form here. But good luck trying to figure that one out. My goodness.
By the way, and I hate to say this too, because they will be well compensated, Joe, but maybe it takes, like, not a life-threatening injury. Like, I'm not that seditious here at this point right now, or evil. Maybe it just takes a blown-out knee to a superstar player in a flag football game in the offseason to end this altogether. Because if you remember, I think it was the New England Patriots' Robert Edwards, whose knee absolutely exploded at the Pro Bowl when they were playing the beach games, and they did away with it. Maybe it takes, and again, I don't wish any harm on that player. The knee goes away, and you get $30 million in futures because you got hurt in a Pro Bowl game here. But is that what it's going to take to do away with the stupidness of the Pro Bowl game?
I certainly just hope they do away with it altogether, Donnie, because there is absolutely nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing exciting about this game. So it's not even going to resemble anything we want. I mean, at this point, why don't you just have them all play Madden football? Just bust it out.
Yes.
Just bust it out, and that's it. Everyone control their own guy and have a Madden tournament. You'd probably get more people viewing that than watching a flag football game.
Look, how about this, Joe? Everybody involved who makes the Pro Bowl, they come down to Miami, they stay at the Fontainebleau, a nice steak dinner on the NFL, and a weekend paid for by the NFL where you can hang out on the beach, relax, and fly home. Sounds like a better Pro Bowl than, hey, do you want to go to Santa Clara and play a flag football game? No, not particularly, Joe. We don't want to do that.
No, absolutely. I have no interest whatsoever in any of this. And when you look at the roster and some of the guys that they've had to ask to even be a part of this, it's hilarious. Yeah, no thanks. But it does, listen, if it gives the fans an opportunity to get out of the cold weather and come down to Orlando in order to although just be careful because it ain't warm there either right now. Good luck. Enjoy yourself.